untouchable. Problem is, your employees, if you don't treat them right, they tend not want to work for you. When you can't produce the numbers that even higher management wants to see, it's always the boss's fault, right?
Right. Crap does roll downhill, but eventually it does hit the head of the supervisor, the boss, the manager, the guy in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Which in this case would be Paul.
Needless to say, I mean, he did lose his job. I mean, this was after I left, obviously, but yeah, he did lose his job. But I mean, it's one of those things where, we say we got 21 listens, we're happy for it. We're not gonna be like, dude, 21 views, we're the best show out there.
Well, I do think we're the best show out there, but
shh, don't let them hear that.
I think we're at the bottom of the barrel of the best. We're up there.
But we're not the best.
But we're keeping it real.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where you gotta watch. Some people they don't know how to handle, the fame, the popularity, the money, the power that comes with it.
I feel like they need to have some class and act like they've been there before.
I'll give you a class act. Houston Texans player J.J. Watt. Dude gets
What?
He got $100 million contract. 52 of it is guaranteed. Now, answer me this. You just got, in a sense, you just had somebody hand you $100 million over 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing you do the next day?
It's easy. I add it to the other $100 million that I have in the bank already. But I do know where you're coming from. If it was me, I'll be honest with you. I'm on cloud 9. I'm sleeping in.
You might show up a couple minutes late to work.
Minutes? I'm showing up days late, son. I just got me $52 million guaranteed.
This man, J.J. Watt, showed up to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours before anybody else showed up.
Wait, there's a 4 a.m.?
Dude, I was as shocked as you were.
I didn't even know that time existed.
That's a guy right there that knows how to work, how to earn his keep, so to say.
Right.
And not let the fame, the fortune, the star. He doesn't let any of that make him forget where he came from. I mean, you gotta remember, he's in his 4th year of the NFL?
I believe so. And he's only 23 or 24 years old.
25.
He must just turn 25. He didn't invite us to his birthday party, but that's okay.
But yeah, so I mean, this is a guy that 5 years ago, he didn't even know if he was gonna be in the NFL or not.
I heard he made a comment that he actually Googled what do rich people
exactly,
buy.
He did.
Because he didn't know what rich people do with all that money.
If that's not somebody that I kind of want to model my morals after, I mean, I guess I'm an immoral person for that. I mean, in all honesty, I think the guy's an upstanding person in all the work that he does around the community. The fact that this is a guy that he doesn't have. I mean, granted, it might be publicity pushed, but he doesn't have to go to this kid's school that has cancer or something just to say hey to him or anything like that. But he does it anyway.
Yeah.
How many other celebrities? Granted, there's a lot that do go out of their way to be.
Right, but if you look at the big picture, it's a drop in the bucket of people who actually do these kind of things.
Exactly, and those are people that they don't let their egos go out of control.
Right. Exactly.
But that's the thing, is that there are a lot of other people though who let the egos go out of control.
Right, and the crazy part is that you don't have to be famous to let your ego get out of control.
No, you could just be someone that got a $2 raise and you can let your ego go out of control.
Right.
Or you could just be one. You could probably have nothing to your name, but just feel like you're a know-it-all, and you can still let your ego go out of control.
The guy, and I don't mean the guy as one person. I mean the guy as like a category that I hate. I hate their ego.
Who
is the guy that always has money to go out, whose parents pay for their cell phone bill, their gas, their insurance, their car, anything and everything that they want.
I mean, like the privileged guy, right? The guy that pretty much, he can walk into a bar and say, give me one of everything, and he pulls out his black platinum card, swipes, and he's good, right?
Well, I was talking about like the younger kids, but those kids do end up turning into those kind of guys. And I can't stand that group of people, because and it's not because they're privileged, because hell, if I would love to be privileged, but
I guess the fact,
like I said before, have some class and like you've been there before. Don't go around. Oh yeah, look at me. I'm this.
Like the ones
I'm
that flaunt their wealth in front, flaunt what they have in front of you, pretty much, right?
Right. You know, it's.
I get where you're coming from there, and I mean I agree. I'll agree with you there in the sense that, flaunt it in a good way. How about this? And I'm not telling.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
And I'm not. When I say I don't like these guys, I'm not saying I have anything against the person.
Uh-huh.
It's the ego that they have when it's so undeserved. Like you said, J.J. Watt. Yeah. He earned his money. He had never made.
He's still earning it today.
Right.
I mean, give this man another $100 million. In my opinion.
But the ego that the undeserved ego that these people have is just so sickening to me. It's like, how can you have people give you everything and then act like you've got it all on your own?
Those are like the people that they don't know the value of a dollar, pretty much. Everything's always been handed to them, right?
Like that dollar.
Exactly. But I mean, it's just kind of shocking how so many people tend to flaunt and let that ego of power, wealth, fame, whatever, kind of just control their entire livelihood, and it turns what could have been a nice, helpful situation that they could have brought out of it into something nasty and more destructive to those around them. I mean,
right, and at the same time, you really could make a change to make things better. And let me tell you a small story.
Okay. How small is it?
It's about the size of a pea.
Okay, so I'm gonna count to 10 Mississippi. You better be done.
Count slow. Well, there was this girl that I worked with. Her name was Caitlin. And she got the supervisor position. She had really wanted the supervisor position. Before she got the position, she was a hard worker. She stayed late. She covered people's shifts. She helped everybody. Yeah. She got the position.
Sounds like a lot like Paul, actually.
Yeah, it's probably Paul's girlfriend, for all we know. Anyway, she got the position, and the very first day she got the position, she walked up to me and asked me a question that not even a manager had asked me up to that point. I had only been there 2 months, but not even a manager had asked me this question.
Did she say that it hurt?
What?
Did it hurt?
Did what hurt?
Exactly. Oh, I'm just trying to make conversation. I was trying
to. You set yourself up for that.
Just continue your story. I don't know why I did that.
Okay, so she walked up to me and she said, "Hey, are you on the clock?" And I just looked at her with a really puzzled look on my face, more puzzled than it normally is.
Was it like that? Like make no sense?
No. It made sense.
Okay.
I just didn't know why this girl, who wasn't even over my department, is coming up to me and asking me, "Hey, dude, are you on the clock?"
She owns you, is why.
No, she doesn't own me. What she wanted to own was that ego of hers that was.
It just grew.
No, it grew, and it was overloading. It was spilling out of her. So she came up to me and asked me, "Hey, are you on the clock?" And I looked at her and I said, "No." She's like, "Okay, well, I can't have you in my area if you're not on the clock."
What?
I can't have you talking to my employees if you're not on the clock.
Wow.
And I looked at her and I didn't say anything, and that's rare for me. In those times, I was a little bit more immature, a little bit more naive, a little bit more,
Wow.
So I let it go.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it started. See, when people get egos, they make enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say they make an enemy out of me, I'm not saying I'm going to go slash their tires. I'm not going to say I'm going to poison their food. I'm just going to make their life
a little bit difficult.
A little bit of a minimal.
A little bit difficult. Hell. A little bit of hell. Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to cut you off or anything, but the only thing I have left to say really is that it's okay to have an ego, but be constructive with it. Don't not destructive. Okay, for example, let's go back to Paul. He could have been, I'm gonna make change, right? You could use your ego to be like, look, these are my people now. I want them working this type of schedule.
Right.
That's his ego working constructively, not destructively.
Right. Especially because Paul knows what these guys are going through.
Exactly.
You know.
So I mean,
how can he make it better from what he had experienced?
Exactly, and like I said, some ego's good, some ego's bad. It's just It's just all about how you use it and control it.
Right.
You know, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, like I said, if I was given $100 million today, dude, I'm not going to work tomorrow. You know, I'm pretty sure 90% of the world would be like that. You know.
Right.
But J.J. Watt saw an opportunity to make himself even better. Think about it. He's 25 years old, signs a 6-year contract. By the time that 6-year contract is up, he's 31. He's thinking ahead.
He's still in his prime.
I'm 31. He's pretty much in the middle of his prime. He's thinking, hey, let's shoot for $200 million on my next contract now.
And the crazy thing is in that interview that he had where he Googled what is a rich person buying, he didn't start talking about, oh, I'm gonna get a big fancy house. I'm gonna buy all these cars. Although he did buy a car.
He bought his car
for this one woman.
He bought it for his mom for her birthday.
That's her mom?
That was his mom.
No,
it was his mom for her birthday.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Don't be pervy on us here.
Hashtag. Hashtag. You know what I'm gonna say.
I know where you're going with this.
You know what I want to do, right? We're not gonna say that though.
But I mean, I guess kind of like what we did last week. Let's end it on that. Was it the moral point? The moral point of this would be, it's okay to have an ego, but be constructive, not destructive with it.
Right. I mean, if you're gonna have an ego with me, make it something that I'm gonna look at and be like, I want to be like that guy. I want to be in his shoes. I want to be at his level.
Exactly, because that way, then it not only makes you better yourself, but it makes others around you want to better themselves to get to where you're at. And then what's going to happen is when they get to your level, they're going to look at the next guy that's doing something good and say, all right, how can we get to his level? And so on. So and you just make everyone around you that much better.
Right, because we all know that being a red leader or a leader through fear,
it always leads to failure.
I mean, it's going to work because the job's going to get done, but is it going to get done as efficiently and effectively as you wanted it?
Exactly.
Is it going to be consistent? I don't think it will.
And I guess, guys, with that, we'll wrap up episode number 2. And I mean, it was once again, you guys can reach us at the OIC podcast at gmail.com.
My name is Javier.
I'm Khaled. And we hope you guys enjoy this episode. And, give us suggestions for. Actually, we have the next episode. We already kind of have an idea for it.
I think we should ask a girl's advice about the topic for the next episode.
This is where we're going with this. So, the next episode that we want to do, we really appreciate it if you guys could shoot us some emails, especially guys, because what we're going to do here is my sister's actually offered her expert knowledge on the female mind for us here, and we're gonna get a girl's advice for guys who need advice about a girl.
Have your pen pads ready.
So shoot us your questions at the OIC podcast at gmail.com. Let us know what questions you guys might have out there. It's either you might get advice from us, or like I said, my sister will be helping us out next episode, giving us some womanly advice.
And I already know what my first question is going to be.
No.
Yes. My first question is going to be, where the hell is that restaurant called It Doesn't Matter? Because every time I ask a girl, where do you want to go? They say the same thing. It doesn't matter. We've never heard of this restaurant before.
We should Google it. And one quick thing before we go. If you live in Houston, October 25th, if you are a wrestling fan, which Javier and myself are, NWA Houston will be here on October 25th in Cypress, Texas. You can catch them on NWAHouston.com. Awesome show, by the way. They are really good.
If you guys want to go and check it out, give me a hell yeah.
No. That's all for this week, folks. See you guys next week. Bye.